be very difficult for the governments to step in. And so this is something that we're talking today, and Sergio was quite clear on this message on understanding the specificities of insurance from a regulatory perspective. But I think we should also go beyond that. We should also go in the terms of, accepting that there are the specificities of insurance that can be used for the wider economy in order to bring more stability to the economy at large and to the countries. And so I think that this area of cat coverages, I think it's very important from a consumer, individual perspective, but also from public finances sustainability.
Yeah. You know, the World Bank, for instance, has worked very hard on new schemes, like the Caribbean Risk Insurance Facility, trying to really have a pooling of insurance protection for governments, and I think this is a model to look at in all regions. I think these are early stage and low volume in the grand scheme of things, low volume schemes, but I think this is part of the future.
Good. So let's move on now, Gabriel, to a theme that I know it's close to your heart. And it is a question, is the insurance business model really understood by people from outside the industry and more especially among global policymakers? And we heard Sergio was talking about that this morning, but also Burkhard was talking about that. How do you see that as the European top supervisor?
Well, I think that definitely there's an evolution. I think that we are better today than what we were definitely 10 years ago. And I think this is also because of what you mentioned at the beginning. Well, 10 years ago, banks, they are always on the center of all discussions at the political level. That's the fashion thing, let's be frank. Insurance, it's not so fashionable. And this means, of course, that we need all to increase the communication at the different levels. I think that things have been improving. If you look, for example, international side, if you look at the debates about systemic risk, I think that we end up with a consequence. You like it or not, of course, but at least it recognizes the specificities of insurance and that it's different from the banking business model. So I think in that sense we are in the right path. But let's be frank, also the insurance business model, has its own specificities also inside. So life insurance is different from non-life insurance. You have in non-life insurance very different types of business models always. So when you go more granular, it is more and more difficult. But I think that on a higher level perspective, I think that we're making progress. But I think also it's important, and I totally agree that of course we need to look at the specificities of